Hello everyone and welcome back to more Cinderella phenomenon. We are back for more Rumple's route in the beginnings of chapter 9 because in the last episode we finished off on chapters 7 and 8. So here we are now, and before you ask, yes, excuse my nasally voice because I am still slightly sick. I have a slight cold and I'm still trying to get over it, but I've gotten to the point where I'm not coughing as much. And I really wanted to get back into this game because I really want to know what would happen. Because in the last episode, we basically, what happened? Well, we returned with the whole, we caught a fever, which is funny enough. Oh, lol, because I'm sick now. But we caught a fever, and we had a point of sickness, and then, of course, Rumple takes care of us, and we saw a little bit of a softer side to him, and he's like, you know, he's more caring towards us, and you know, it turns out in the span of us going missing because we were sick, he like misses us and stuff, and it's like, oh, you're super sweet, and that further kind of solidifies our like feelings for him. And then in that time we oh god, I'm gonna try to hold back my cough, but like anyways, if in case it comes up, I'll probably cut it out so you won't hear it. It's disgusting. Anyway, so in that time we find out that he's still in contact with Bria, his ex-fiance, and he's just basically trying to ask for the remaining like journals that she's kept, and so far she's like refusing to give it to him. So we found out where her address is, and so we wrote a letter ourselves to her asking about the journals. And so we did it behind Rumple's back and not to let him know about it, but at some point we got a reply, and of course Bria, surprisingly enough, agreed to meet up with us. So she meets up with us in the cafe at the square, and she has the journals with her. And then she's like, she eventually, before she gave us the journal, she told us about her half of the story of why she like kind of cheated on Rumple. Coughing fit. Oh my god. Anyway, so she she explained to us how like Rumple was really kind and he was really flirty, like how we first met him, and that's how she fell in love with his charms. But underneath it all, like she realized that, you know, his kindness is to a fault. So he like they opened up their own clinic and stuff, and she opened up her own shop, except every single time Rumple goes to treat somebody or to treat his patient, he wouldn't accept any sort of payment. So eventually it got so bad to the point where they weren't making any money from the services that they were providing, or he was providing, and that really frustrated her because she was like, hey, we don't have enough money to provide for ourselves, but Rumple can't help it because he's just so like nice to people. So on the day when the nobleman came around to be treated and he refused payment as well, she started to run after their patients in order to try to get some sort of like money and payment out of them. So when the nobleman came, she did the same thing, and of course in that moment of weakness she like, you know, she got with him, and that's what ended up happening, and that's her side of the story. So we kind of understand, you know, where she was coming from in terms of, well, you know, why she kind of cheated on Rumple like that. So she explained to us, she more or less warned us. She's like, I know he's a great guy and all, but like, you know, he really needs to fix this sort of habit of his, or else it'll just end up hurting other people. And that's what happened to them. So yeah, so she eventually gave us the journals. She was like, you know, I might as well just give you these journals, because if I hold on to them, it's only just gonna make me bitter. So yeah, there's that. And then we, of course, from that, we got ourselves our second piece of the slipper. We went back and to the merchant eventually, and then everyone's freaking out because we hadn't disappeared. We told nobody about the meeting, and so we came back. We waited, and then Rumple came back because he was running an errand himself. And he came up to our room, and he had this like bouquet of lilies for us. Well, not for us, but like we thought it was for somebody else because he was like, oh, it's for a girl that I like. But of course, we didn't think it was us, so we got upset. And then we went downstairs, we started crying, and it was stupid. And then he came downstairs, and he was like, I'm sorry, like, you know, I must have done something wrong. And then eventually, he like told us how he saw the journals, and he read through the journals, and and because of that, he got his final missing piece of the puzzle to his memories. So it turns out, of course, the full story of it, of how he was cursed, was that all these patients kept coming to him with these illnesses that he couldn't cure, and every single time that happened, the witch doctor or that lady would always come by, and he would strike a deal with her in order for her to perform these like little miracles to heal these people. And every single time he strikes a deal with her, he gave up something that's really precious to her. So the first time was like a family heirloom, which is a stethoscope. Second time it was the engagement ring for Bria, and that really triggered it. And the final time was when Bria got really super sick, and that's when Rumpel gave up his memories in order to save her, and that's how he ended up being cursed. And eventually all that came to a head where we finally figure out his name, which is Chevalier. Yes, his name. He has a really fancy name. His name is Chevalier Dumont, and then of course he confesses his feelings to us. He gave us the bouquets, and the bouquets was meant for us. We finally figured it out. And then we kissed, and we lived happily ever after. No, just kidding. Not necessarily, not just yet. We eventually find out that there's trouble in the palace. There's a coup d'etat, and instead of Alcaster running out this time, it was Sir Mythros and his band of witches that won out on the coup d'etat. Alcaster is dead, and the witches are taking over the palace, and that's a problem because, you know, the throne is empty. Sir Mythros hasn't claimed it, and I only suspected that it's because he's waiting on us, and he thinks like, you know, we're still the old us, and that would mean like we would take over the throne, and you know, and he's, you know, we were like our mother before, and he had really great respect for our mother, and then yeah, so the plan was to break back into the castle and to sort out that mess, and during that time, Chevalier or Rumpel would be helping out at the hospitals and at the clinics where all the soldiers were injured in between or during those the coup d'état. So yes, that's where we are now. So yes, everybody's organizing themselves and we're trying to sort out this mess. And here we are. Yes. So there. Let's continue on. Chapter 9, I'm pretty sure it's going to take another 2 chapters, 9 and 10. And yeah, it's going to come to the end, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that bad ending. So here we go. Let's see how this one ends. Okay. So, another long night. Yes. The two of us are on our way back to the Marchen after visiting a clinic in town. We were there for hours, and it is a relief to be out in the open now, where I can feel the wind on my skin. Are you okay, Princess? I know that what you saw must have been difficult. I'm sorry I couldn't shield you from the majority of it. Yeah, ooh, blood. I volunteered to help Chevalier at the clinic part-time, but it is worse than I expected. Many of the soldiers have severe wounds. I had thought that most of the injuries sustained by the knights during the upheaval were only minor, but I was wrong. Their injuries are much worse. Princess? He reaches out and laces his fingers through mine, then gives me a soft smile as he squeezes my hand. Are you okay? Well, peachy. I am fine. It has only been 1 day since the uprising at the palace. I had thought that there would be less blood. I was wrong. Nope. Is this what things were like after the Great War? I wasn't a fully certified doctor after the Great War, but I was an assistant. It was far worse than this, Princess. Well, I guess that's comforting. Ugh. We cannot have a repeat of the Great War. I do not know why Mythros would kill Sir Alcaster and take the throne without claiming the crown, but the witches already have a bad name, and he is making it worse. Yes. Poor Delora. I cannot help but remember the wide smiles Mythros gave me when I was still living in the palace. Every time I felt his eyes on me, I felt that there was something strange about him. There was always a cloudiness in his eyes, something unreadable. He was excellent at his job, but always an enigma outside of it. A sudden breeze chills my skin. Let's go back before you freeze out here. Okay. And catch a cold. The two of us begin our walk back to the Marchen. Thoughts of the palace, the king, and my stepfamily cloud my mind. Since I have been staying at the Marchen, I have not seen Rod once. Oh my god. I was never sure if it was because he was ignoring me or if it was because he only wanted to speak to Parfait. Regardless, I hope Rod and his family are okay. I would never wish this treatment upon anyone, not even to ones I hated. As we walk, I glance up at Chevalier, whose head is tilted skyward. I catch the glimmer of lights in his eyes and smile. Even for just a moment, I can forget about everything when I am beside him. He has a way of taking the weight off my shoulders. But as the crown princess, I cannot let others carry my burden for me. I must find ways to protect the others, even if it means putting myself in danger or harming someone in order to protect someone else. What do you think is the easiest and fastest way to kill someone? Well, go for the heart. The head. I don't know. Chevalier's body goes rigid beside me. He stops to stare at me wide-eyed. I'm asking just in case I'm ever in danger. I have never fought anyone before. I can retaliate, but I do not know how to actually harm anyone. To kill someone is to end a life. It is stealing away a life that others might love. You bear the burden of that death for the rest of your life. I pull myself away from him. It's true though. But Mythros is not an innocent man. Would you rather he kill the royal family instead? No, it's not that, princess. I know he must be stopped at any cost. It's just... I would never want you to have to kill someone. Yeah. How would you know what it was like to kill someone? You have only ever helped people, not hurt them. Well, it's not a one-way street, girl. You saw the soldiers in the clinic today. You saw how close some of them were to death. Did you see the hollow look in their eyes? I have seen that look many times. It is the look of a man who clings desperately to life. Every life is precious. And a life is still a life, whether it's vile or not. It is still a responsibility you have to bear. I know how valuable and fragile lives are because I have helped so many people. We stand quiet for a few moments, facing each other. I know I am at odds with Chevalier. He speaks the truth, but I also know that I speak my own version of the truth too. The world is a place where only the strong survive. People are kind, but they will take advantage of those who are too caring. Yes. Briere told me that Chevalier was so selfless he became selfish. She told me that she told me that he never had anything because he gave everything to others. His kindness has hurt others as well. Oh, his kindness has hurt others, and I fear that it has a likely chance to hurt him as well. Yeah. What if his reluctance to hurt anyone causes him to be the one that is injured? Chevalier suddenly breaks the silence. Most people think that the easiest way to kill a person is to stab them through the heart. Yes. Those people would be wrong. Oh! He puts his hand over his heart and stares dismally down at the ground. He removes his hand briefly, but only to reach for mine. Okay. What? Huh? He takes my hand and settles it on his chest, slightly to the left. I can hear the beating of his heart beneath my palm. It is soft and gentle. What can you feel besides the beating of my heart? The ribs? Yes, in order to stab the heart, you'd have to get through the ribs. That's why most of the soldiers in there who got stabbed in the chest are still alive. Ooh, okay. If you want to quickly kill someone, you have to stab somewhere where it would be difficult to stem the blood from a wound. Do you have any idea where that might be? The abdomen, the neck. The neck! The jugular! Am I right? That's always a classic. Is it the neck? The skin on the neck is thinner, and you have lots of blood flow underneath the skin, going right to your head. It would most likely be easier to slice or pierce something more vulnerable in the neck without running into as much resistance. Chevalier raises an eyebrow. Did you happen to pick that up around the clinic? No, I simply guessed. Yeah, you like my medical knowledge? You're not the only one who knows the ways of the body. Then you have a bright mind, princess. Chevalier moves my hand to the side of his neck. My fingers curl slightly when I feel his heartbeat reverberate beneath my fingers. This part is where you can find the jugular vein and the carotid artery. He runs my fingers down the length of it, and I shudder. A mischievous smile brightens his face. Hey now. Not only does cutting at the neck stop blood from going to the head, but it also makes it spurt. Ew. Ew, gross. If both the vein and the artery are cut, it only takes a minute to bleed to death. Thus, one of the best ways to kill a person would be through the neck. Why are you telling me this now? Right? I was just enlightening a new pupil with an anatomy lesson. You asked me a question, and I responded as a teacher. Chevalier's finger loosened on my hand, and I grasped his hand tighter in response. Princess, I don't want you to have to bear the burden of a murder. I promise that I'll protect you, so you don't have to defend yourself with violence. I can't use a sword or magic, and I don't know how to fight, but I will always be there to protect you. Hey man, don't get sliced in the throat for me. That's not ideal. I may not have an abundance of muscles beneath these sleeves, but I am a doctor. No one knows the body better than I, so though it may not be heroic, I know how to hurt a person. His sincere expression, though pain, tells me that he is telling the truth. I do not want Chevalier to hurt a person either. It would destroy everything that he has worked toward as a doctor. He has so much suffering, and yet always seems untouched by it. I will do anything I can to protect his positivity. What a pure soul you are. Okay. The march-in was quiet when we returned. Everyone had already disappeared into their rooms, and so I went straight to mine. I also forced Chevalier to go back to his. He has been on his feet all day, and he needs to rest. And he needs the rest, right? I plopped down onto my bed as soon as we returned home. I glanced briefly to the side, where Chevalier's bouquet is in the vase Parfait had given to me. Oh, who is it? Parfait. Oh, come in. Don't mind my nasally voice. You've returned, yes. Parfait looks paler than normal. I realized with a start that Chevalier did not attend to her all day today. Ugh, don't look at me like that. I'm fine. How were the soldiers at the clinic? Oh, they've seen better days. Not good. Many of them have been gravely wounded. Some said they remembered magic. Others say they do not remember anything at all. A shadow falls over Parfait's expression as she sighs. So the circumstances are direr than we thought. It was a good thing Chevalier is there to lend a helping hand. Did you all manage to come up with a plan? Yes, what's the game plan? It's proving more difficult than we anticipated. Delora and I are willing to put ourselves in danger. Waltz is too, because he can use magic to a certain extent. The Knights and Karma have their blades. But Chevalier... I do not want to involve him in this. Because you're worried about him. Yeah. Of course I am. You've grown, Princess. Well, shut up. You remind me of a younger Hildyr. Oh. Well, I am my mother's daughter in that sort of way. Back then, Hildyr was both calm and resilient. One moment she could be smiling ear to ear, and the next she could be strict and unmovable as the coldest ice. The two of us were like sisters. We did so much together. We learned together, explored the kingdom together. I can say with all certainty that we were the best of friends. Aww. And then the fairy tales happened. When Hildyr killed the first human, she was corrupted. Her darkness swallowed her whole. I do not remember a time before Mother was corrupted, and so I cannot imagine the woman Parfait describes. I wonder who she killed. Will that be revealed later? Or is it just some random human? I know the old Hildyr would have wanted to show you the beauty in things, Princess. She would not want you to suffer. I'm sorry you became so embroiled in things. It was inevitable. If Delora hadn't cursed me, then I would still be in the palace, and I would just be as helpless as everyone else. So while I am out here, I have the responsibility to help everyone. I touched the incomplete glass slipper at my neck. I still haven't even done 3 good deeds. Don't look so sad. You will complete your 3 good deeds, and things will go back to normal. And of course, you'll still have friends here when you return. Yeah. And come your 18th birthday, Delora and I will teach you about magic. Walt is eager to help too. Aww. But for now, our top priority is a plan. Rest easy, Princess. Things will work out. Hopefully. It is hard to believe that this problem could be so easily solved, but I will try to believe. When Parfait leaves, I am left to my own thoughts. I hope everyone at the palace is okay, and that they can hold on until we come up with a plan. Until we can come up with our plan. But I feel like we are already running out of time. Well, hopefully no one's dying. God. I'm pretty sure Sir Mythros is just chilling, and he's just like, where is the princess? Days go by, and I find myself assisting Chevalier at times. Other times I remain at the march-in to help conceptualize a plan. None of our plans have actually shown any promise yet, but with all of our minds put together, we should be able to come up with something. Well, a week later, I find myself standing outside the clinic door waiting for Chevalier. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Princess. You can drop the title, you know. Yeah, Hana, but you are princess in my eyes. Ha, you. Yes, but you do not need to address me by title. Just my name is fine. Chevalier reaches out to take my hand, then immediately pulls his hand back, eyes wide. What? I forgot it. What? Forgot what? The medicine that I needed for Parfait. Give me a moment, Hana. Yes. Chevalier plants a quick kiss on my forehead before running inside. Oh, what a sweetie. I stare at the stars as I wait. Huh? What? I turn but see no one walking around the plaza. I inch closer toward the door of the clinic as I take another look around. Boo! What? Ugh! Who are you? You don't look like Varg, are you? No. Or you said no. Sir Mythros doesn't have unkempt hair like that. I have no idea. Okay, who the hell is this? I suddenly see the silhouette of a man. He takes a few more steps toward me and then stops in front of me. Oh, you are Varg. I recognize him immediately. His appearance left quite an impression on me the last time. Out at night by yourself? Certainly you know that wolves prowl these streets at night. Oh, what do you want? I take a step back and press myself to the door. I reach for the door handle, but the man reaches out a hand to grab my wrist, holding it to the door. I'd say my answer to that question is complicated, princess. Oh. By the expression on your face, I must have hit the nail right on the head, eh? You are the princess. Yes, I am. How do you know who I am? That is part of the mystery, isn't it? I attempt to wrestle my wrist out of his fingers. Come with me quietly and you won't get hurt. Scream for help, go quietly. Scream! I should scream. Let's do that. Yeah? I mean, I'm right at the clinic. Honestly. Scream for help. I refuse to go anywhere with him. I open my mouth to scream, but before I can even breathe, the man's hand flies to my mouth. Oh, you're a disobedient one, aren't you? I struggle against his grasp. It does not take long for the grin to fall from his face. It is replaced with a look that lacks any amusement. I enjoy seeing you struggle, but I'm afraid we've been at it here for too long. I bang my shoulders against the door, and a resounding creak follows my attempt. Yes! I did it! I got somebody's attention, or I made a ruckus. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Oh shit. The man opens a small vial in front of my face. Something sweet wafts in the air, and I suddenly feel myself falling into darkness as I collapse. Oh no! It's like this world's like... What's that thing again? I forgot. Chloroform, yes. It's this world's type of chloroform. Ah. Dang it. Chloroform, my one weakness. How did you know? Where am I? Back in your room. I glance around me. Yes, my room. I look around cautiously, checking to see if anything in my room is different. The last time I was here was before I was cursed. How is it that this room is the same? Well, they've been taking care of it, I suppose. Sleeping Beauty has awoken. Again, wrong princess. I am Cinderella. I move to stand up before realizing that my legs are numb. What the fuck? Shame to see you so easily tamed, princess. And here I thought you would be fun. Well, I did put up a good fight, didn't I? I glanced up to look at the man, who was now standing right at my bedside. How do you know who I am? Are you a witch? A witch? Me? Aha! Ha! He burst into laughter. I would rip the witches to shred if I could. Oh, if he could, then he works for Mythros, who is a witch. You are cursed. The man simply smirks at me, but says nothing in response. He brushes the words aside with a gesture of his hand. Are you working for Mythros? Yes. Probably. Maybe. I glare at his vague answer. My name is Varg, yes, and I have been assigned to be your personal knight. I already have a personal knight. Yeah. Oh, you mean Fritz? I got rid of him. Oh no! Is he dead? You... No playing with the queen's daughter, Varg. Oh. There's the man of the hour. Mythros enters the room. Now he stands in the doorway, eyeing the both of us with a smile that is oddly reminiscent of his usual one that it makes me sick. Yes. Mythros. Or should I say, Myth, aka Myth. Princess, you look more and more like your mother every day. Why, the scowl on your face is almost a perfect reflection. There he goes. He moves to stand in front of me. At the same time, Varg begins to take slow and careful footsteps to the edge of my room. What have you done with everyone? Put them on house arrest? Inconsequential or consequential? Oh my god. What? Mythros clicks his tongue impatiently. Inconsequential or consequential people? I narrow my eyes at him. I have no idea who he defines as inconsequential or consequential. Where are the king and the rest of the family? Where is Fritz? Were you the one who killed Sir Alcaster? Ah, inconsequential and consequential then. To start, your knight is gone, princess. I've replaced him with Varg here. And Alcaster? Well, he had a common cause at first. Well, we had a common cause at first. We both wanted the crown. Uh-huh. So Alcaster was also betraying the king? Yes. But Alcaster was a brute. He wanted to needlessly kill the royal family and steal the crown for himself. At first I had thought he was calm and calculating. But it turns out that he was just a power-hungry fool. Though I did want to take the crown, I wanted to avoid the bloodshed of certain important people. Mythros smiles at me. It is a look that makes my blood run cold. So I disposed of him and the rest of his knights. Oh, but don't worry, princess. I assure you that your family is resting in their rooms, just like you are resting in yours. Thanks. What? Do not worry, you will see them shortly after dinner. I have my doubts about Mythos' story, but if what he said was true, then Sir Alcaster wanted to kill the royal family and Mythos saved them. But then he decimated the knights and took the royal family hostage? Why would he do such a thing? They're prisoners then. Yes, prisoners in their own home? Nonsense! We are all just awaiting the queen's return together. The queen? Slowly I feel pieces beginning to fit together. Me, aka me? The queen? He cannot be talking about Ophelia. Delora, do you think witches are capable of bringing back the dead? Oh no, are you kidding me? Really? We're gonna perform some necromancy? Mother is dead. Is she really? Oh. Oh my god. What happens if, like... what if he uses us, the Tenebrarium bearer? Because Parfait did say that before she died, our mother gave the last of her energies to power the Tenebrarium, right? So what if he, like, tries to use something like a medium, like us? And he's trying to revive our mother through us. Oh my god, that would be so fucked up. What the fuck? You can bring mother back from the dead? We can, princess. Oh my god, I'm calling it now. We? The queen has been resting for a long time, waiting for you to gain your power so that you can help her escape her prison. You are not making any sense. I struggle to keep my words from faltering. How is mother alive, and what does he mean by a prison? The Tenebrarium is the queen's prison. It is linked to the queen's power. Yes! I am right so far. Oh my god. Come on. Though others presumed she was dead, the queen sealed the last of her powers inside the crystal. All she requires is your power, princess. My power? When you become the next bearer, you will have the ability to release the queen from her prison. Like body and all? Oh my god. My birthday is in a week. That is when I am meant to take on the responsibilities of becoming the bearer. The Parfait and Delora never went into more detail beyond that. You'll finally get to see your mother again, princess. I still cannot quite take in everything he has just said. However, if Mythos had approached me before the curse, I would have helped mother in a heartbeat. But it was mother who was the last Tenebrarium bearer, and the one who brought darkness to Angiel. I once believed that mother was the only person to ever love me. Now I know I was wrong, that she shut me in from a world that I should have known. But still, even now, I wish she was here. I take a deep breath. But I cannot afford to be selfish. I cannot put anyone else in danger. I will not help you. She's like, what? You don't have a choice, princess. I have set the stage for my queen's return, and all that's left is to free her from her cage. We will speak more of this at the dining table. Oh no. Mythos leaves the room, leaving me briefly with Varg. Varg smiles at me beneath his mask, then brings his index finger to the temple of his head and loops it. He mouths the word crazy. You said you would tear witches apart, so why do you serve Mythros? A good question, yes. Curious. So, what is it? You're not going to answer me. How perceptive of you, princess. God damn it. No one tells me anything. He smirks at me before following Mythos out the door. I am once again left by myself in the room. Everything Mythos just told me swirls through my mind. My mother. Alive. And he killed everyone only to take the crown and keep it for her. A shudder runs through my body. She cannot return. No. I spend the next hour looking around my room for things that might aid my escape. I know everyone else's rooms are too, but I know where everyone else's rooms are too, but I have no idea how heavily guarded they are, and I doubt I could help them. I must return to the march-in. I test the window, but it is locked, probably with magic. I search my shelves. The dolls that used to comfort me can do nothing for me now. Last, I checked my drawers, but though there are many things in them, there is nothing that looks like it could help me escape. As I am searching, I come across a box and pause to pick it up. What is that? We've never seen that before. I remember this. It was given to me by my mother with strict instructions to not open it and always keep the key hidden. Okay. I search the drawer again for the key. The moment I begin to set the box down, I see a small golden key at the bottom of the drawer. I pick it up and I'm about to open the box when I stop. Why? This is hardly a priority right now. But you never know! I set the key down next to the box. I should be searching for a way to escape. I turn to see Varg's smiling face at the door. You look like a criminal who's just been caught doing something naughty, says the criminal himself. Yes, maybe we're meant for each other. No. I narrow my eyes as he approaches. Behind his back, I can make out the open door. What if I rush him? What if I bum rush him? Don't even think about it. You don't want me to pounce you in the hallways, do you? No. That would be unpleasant. Dang it. Varg grabs my wrist. I attempt to struggle free, but he holds tight to me. I will be your escort to dinner tonight. Dang it. I keep my head held high as Varg escorts me from the room, yeah. On the way to the dining hall, I glimpse the rest of the palace. It is mostly empty, save for a few soldiers. The soldiers that do stand there have a glazed look in their eyes, and look right through me. Yes, puppets. Yes, a spell cast by Mythros. Varg does not answer me as he pulls me through the hallway. Okay. Soon I find myself in the dining hall. The guards usually standing by the walls are gone. Now there's only the royal family, and they seem to be unharmed. Oh hey, you. Yes, you don't know, but I am your daughter. I can see the recognition in the king's eyes. My heart flutters as he stands, or tries to. He manages to rise, but only just barely. I notice that his feet stay firmly planted where they are. Everyone's bodies look exceptionally stiff. Is this some kind of spell? Yes. You are the girl that was outside my palace months ago. Uh-huh. Mythos, what is the meaning of this? I notice that the king is not at the head of the table as usual. Everyone sits on the table's sides except for Mythos, who is at the far end. The king's seat, however, is clear. I simply brought back the crown princess. You should be thanking me, Gennaro. I have reunited you with your daughter. My daughter? Yes. The king raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. I can see in his eyes that he is loath to trust anything Mythos has to say. The king slumps in his chair as Varg leads me to a seat just beside Rod. Hey, buddy. I notice Emmeline sitting just to Rod's side. She forces a smile onto her face, but I can see tears gathering in her eyes. Allow me to offer a more formal introduction for our guest, even though you all know her. Her name is Hannah Riel Britton, and she is the crown princess of Angiel. Yes, and your blood daughter, Gennaro. Yeah. Surprise. The king looks at me again. This time there is more uncertainty in his gaze. Prince Rod will tell you, won't he? Yes. Rod? It's true. Yeah. Rod looks at me, his gaze quiet but expectant. I turn to the king and to the rest of my stepfamily. It is nice to meet you. I am indeed the crown princess. Oh no! Am I supposed to, I guess, I might as well. I have to? This is my chance to prove to them that I am the princess. The king never believed me before, but here I can convince him. I am indeed the crown princess, Hannah Riel Britton. I told you before, your majesty, but I was cursed and you did not believe me. Now no one remembers who I am. I would remember my own daughter. No. I flinch. A pained look comes comes onto the king's face as he stares at me. Ah. Mythros is smiling slyly, why would he do that? Slyly at the end of the table, looking pleased by the further confusion I have caused. Oh no, I wasn't supposed to do that? Is his purpose to only confuse everyone further? What kind of mind game is he playing? Why won't Rod say anything then, huh? Gennaro, she is undoubtedly your daughter. That is why she is in the room that you have been taking care of. What? Yes. The king's eyes widen. He looks at a loss for words. Princess, the king has been keeping your room clean and tidy for the sake of nostalgia, and he has no idea why. Oh, magic works in interesting ways, doesn't it? I was wondering why my room was unchanged, but could it be that the king remembers me somehow? Dang it. I look up at him, but he has already glanced away from me, his expression a complicated twist of confusion and helplessness. It seems that even the king does not fully understand. I turn to Mythros. It can work in both good and bad ways. Ah yes, the fairy tale curse is terrible, isn't it? I catch Varg's eyes from the side of the room. He glances away from me, and I follow his gaze to the corners of the room. I hadn't noticed them before, but now I see cloaked figures hiding in the shadows. Witches. Oh. They must be the ones holding everyone in place as if they try to escape. Wow. But not all magic is terrible, like the magic we will use to revive the queen. You are insane. Hildyr is mad. Yes, oh, you have no right to refer to her by name. A sudden chill envelops the room. I can feel actual icicles on the table. I pull my hands away. I guess his main magic is ice, right? Now, we are going to eat dinner, and we are going to enjoy it. Oh my god. And every day will be just like this until the queen returns. Rod glares at the table. Yeah, Rod glares across the table at Mythros. Why? Why would we not enjoy dinners together? That's not what I meant. Why go through this charade day after day? I stare across the table at Mythros, glaring. I already told you before, I had to clear this place of traitors. Alcaster planned on stealing the crown and I stole it back. But because the time of the queen's revival is so close, I have decided to keep the crown with me until I can return it to its appropriate owner. Wow. Hildyr is... Oh, you're gonna piss him off again. Queen Hildyr is the true owner of the crown. I thought it best that we all wait out her arrival together. But know this, when my queen demands it, I will kill all of you. I simply refuse to act without her orders. Wow. This time, guards come into the room with food. They set it before us, and we are forced to eat beneath Mythros' watchful gaze. Though I try to spot an opening in the dining hall, I can find no way out. This really is a prison. Yeah, I know. 2 days pass. I have been searching for ways out and trying to ease more answers out of Varg and Mythros. Neither of them is very forthcoming. Both enjoy speaking in riddles. Varg especially is an enigma. Whenever I try to ask him about Fritz, he smirks at me and remains silent. Well then. What, not going to ask me any questions tonight? No. I am not going to get answers from Varg, and it is almost my birthday. I need to find a way out of here. I'm disappointed. You're the only fun I have in here, princess. Maybe if I am quiet, he will leave me alone. If you're just going to be quiet and sulk, I guess I should be going. Remember, don't try anything funny. There are knights just outside your door. Varg bows mockingly. He leans down to pat me on the head before he turns and leaves. I think it's a good time to open that box, you know. Who knows? I cannot give up. I once again begin my search through the room. Time is running out, and there is nothing that I can do besides search for a way out. But I know that if I leave the room, the knights will catch me immediately. Okay, if I had a weapon, I might stand a chance. Yeah, but like... Hello? Why don't you just kind of like open the box? Just open it. I put my fingers to my necklace and remember that what Chevalier told me about it. Okay, sleep. What? Woman! The sound comes from outside... Oh! The sound comes from outside my door. It is a woman's voice. The door opens and suddenly Chevalier and Delora are both in my room. Guys, about time! Princess! I am startled to see Chevalier standing before me, his eyebrows drawn over, his eyes with great worry, and beside him stands Delora with her arms crossed. As per usual. Well, aren't you the sight for sore eyes? We're here to stage a daring rescue. Thank you. I rush to Chevalier and wrap my arms around him. He puts a hand over the small of my back and smiles down at me. We're going to get you out of here, Princess. How did you both get in here? With the power of magic! Oh, wow. Dramatic even at a time like this. The two exchange a look before looking at me seriously. Parfait, Waltz, the Knights, and Karma, we all are here. Parfait, Waltz, and the Knights, and Karma are all here. We thought we'd just be fighting witches, though. We weren't expecting the Knights. No matter what we said, we couldn't get through to them. Oh, they're under a spell. Yeah, Mythros. He wants to release Mother. Both of them look at me with confusion. What? Mother is still alive, just inside the Tenebrarium. Mythros wants to bring her back. That is impossible. The Queen is still alive. Chevalier looks worried, while Dolores' expression is more rigid and resolute. We cannot let that happen. Yes. I don't know how the Queen would be alive in the first place, but... well, we'll worry about that later. Yes, right. We have time later to discuss the specifics of everything, but right now we need to get out of here. Before anyone notices. Right, everyone is keeping the guards and witches busy for you, Princess. Okay, I'll distract Mythros. Okay, Chevalier, I'm counting on you to get the Princess to safety. That's why I'm here, Princess. That's why I'm here. Princess, can you guide me through the palace? I cannot just leave everyone here. Well, don't worry. Garland is seeing to saving your family. Okay. No, I cannot just leave everyone in the march in here to do things for me. Right. Hana, we cannot afford to lose you. I told you I would do anything to protect you, and I will. The sooner you're safe, the sooner we'll have the advantage. Right. You are the legitimate heir of the throne to the... You are the legitimate heir to the throne and the next Tenebrarium bearer. You cannot let yourself remain in Mythos' hands. The situation is indeed most dire, so for now we must hurry. I nod my head feebly. Alright, let's go. Without another word, the three of us head toward the door. Dolores exits first and stops immediately. I almost run into her. I glance through the doorway and see Varg waiting just outside, holding a blade across Dolores' neck. Ugh. I was wondering where you were. What happened? Dolores holds up her hand and deflects the sword as it slides harmlessly past her neck. Varg slides away, still holding out his sword. His usual smirk is half-hearted at best. Get out of our way. Yes. You're awfully demanding, aren't you? Pretty please? No can do, my lady. Shame. Looks like I'll have to destroy that pretty mask of yours, along with everything else underneath it. Haha. Sassy Dolores, as always. Dolores holds up her hand and summons a wall of electric orbs. With a flick of her wrist, she sends them rushing toward Varg, who dodges with surprising speed. Wow, Varg's movements appear sluggish, but I have seen his fast reflexes. He's playing with Dolores, even though I do not think he has the advantage. He drops the sword, and for a few moments, I feel Dolores has the advantage. Then suddenly, he raises a cane he usually holds at his side and taps it on the ground. Ow! A burst of smoke escapes from the bottom of it, shrouding the room. An enchanted cane. That's nifty. You're not the only one with tricks up their sleeve. Dolores! Dolores, no. Chevalier, get her out of here. Let's go, Princess. Oh no. Chevalier takes my hand in his and begins to lead me away. I turn to glance back at Dolores and Varg and realize that while Dolores is completely on the offensive, Varg does nothing but dodge. It is as if he is trying to buy time for... something. I banish this thought from my head as Chevalier pulls me down the hall. Oh my god. Oh, how rude! Haven't you heard of chivalry? I spot Karma, still in his dress, holding a sword out at the man in front of him. When the man lunges, Karma dodges back and grunts as his back comes to the wall. Don't die now. I suppose chivalry is dead, then. He steps off to the side as the possessed knight attacks him with his blade. The sword catches his dress, but does not hinder him from stepping forward and aiming a jab with his sword beneath the knight's armor. The knight kneels, but the sword does not fall from his hand. Karma looks up at us sharply. What are you doing just standing there? Sorry, move! I'm sorry! Aha! It takes me a moment to realize that just as I was frozen, so too was Chevalier. His face is pale as he grabs my hand again, and once again starts rushing me down the other end of the hall. Are we gonna meet more people? Chevalier's steps are wider than mine, and I have to struggle to keep up. But the further we go down the hallway, the more apparent it becomes that there are too many obstacles in the way. Oh, hello! We pass Jurian and Garland as we move too, and they manage to clear a path for us. These knights, will they not stop moving until Mythros is defeated? I hope the king and everyone else is safe. As we pass Jurian and Garland, I tell them where the royal family is, but I have no way of knowing if the words reach their ears and miss all the sounds. Oh yeah, all of the sound, yeah. Well, we gotta go. Chevalier? So the stab wounds in the armor that I saw earlier were from the knights themselves, but why would they battle each other? What? The punctures in the armor that we saw at the clinic, the stab wounds in the guts and at the arms. But we don't have time to discuss this, girl! Chevalier's eyes are so distant, it is as if he's looking right through me. We need to keep moving. I take his hand and lead him forward. I do not know what he is talking about, but we can talk about this later. Right now, we have to escape. Is he just, yeah, dude, they're under a spell. I don't know what you're going on about. We are closer to the palace entrance when we see them. A group of knights stand in 2 lines on both sides of the hall, facing each other. At the far end of the hallway stands a gaggle of witches, and in between them, Mythros. Oh. Good evening. Did you enjoy your stroll around the palace? Chevalier immediately moves to stand in front of me. The cloudiness is gone from his eyes. But what leaves his mouth is not a demand, but a question. How could you do this? What? How? It was quite easy, actually. You know what I mean. Why would you make the knights fight one another? What a foolish question. Obviously, it's because they are inconsequential. Uh-huh. On a stage, some pawns exist as easily replaceable extras. I'm interested in keeping only the actors. In the grand scheme of things, the extras aren't needed. In fact, I can make them do whatever I need in order to get the best outcome. He snaps his fingers and the knights raise their swords. I tense, thinking that the knights are going to turn on us, but they never do. Here is an interlude for you to enjoy. Oh my god, he's gonna make them stab each other. Or fight each other. The knights are attacking each other. The sound of metal ringing against metal fills the air. The knights' swords arch, dive, and stab. Mythros watches from behind them, the sly smile never leaving his lips. The 2 of us can only stand there, stunned into silence. It isn't long before we can see red. Wow. My god. The smell of blood begins to linger in the air as swords cut through flesh. Abruptly, I snap to my senses. I attempt to move forward, but Chevalier remains firmly grounded. Chevalier! I heard many things about the doctor working at the clinics. I heard that he was a volunteer who had assisted in helping the injured during the Great War. I also heard that, until just recently, he had been cursed, yeah. I knew immediately upon seeing you that you were that volunteer. I suppose it is unavoidable that you and the princess know each other, but to think you would be so close. Chevalier just stares blankly ahead. He looks almost as if he is under a spell. His eyes are glazed. I continue to call his name. His eyes follow the sword movements of the knights, and he does not even spare me a glance. What is wrong with him? What's happening? Have I unraveled the doctor? What is going on? Oh my god, chapter 10. The Unraveled. Oh my god. What do you mean? But what do you mean? Chevalier snapped out of it. Just look at all these men you cannot save. All of these men dying before your eyes. What, is that like his weakness? Chevalier, we have to get away from here. How many people have you really saved? In the grand scheme of things, you have no talent. Wow, that is why you sought help from a witch. Are you trying to play mind games with him? Oh no. Mythos' voice is oddly calming, and Mythos' voice is oddly calm, and I can feel some sort of presence in the air that is different from normal. A knight plunges a sword through another's gut, causing him to lose his sword. The sword skitters across the floor, gleaming underneath the moonlight. I look desperately at Chevalier and realize that the magic is already working its way into him. He does not see anyone except for Mythos, who is still smiling at him from behind all the knights. I slowly inch backwards, making a show of looking at Chevalier. Neither Mythos nor Chevalier seem to see me. I will protect you, Chevalier. I will do whatever it takes, even if I have to kill someone. I pluck the sword from the ground and grasp it at the hilt. It feels heavy in my hand, but I ignore the weight. I rushed down the hallway with the sword, weaving my way to the side so that I am out of the way of the knights fighting each other. I look squarely at Mythros, and then suddenly Chevalier's eyes flicker to me, only momentarily, but enough for me to know that he's no longer looking at Mythros in a daze. I turn back and see Chevalier rubbing his hand across his eyes. Mythros snaps his fingers, and two of the fighting knights turn and rush toward me. Oh god. The knights manage to back me into a corner of the wall. I hold the blade out as they bear down on me and close my eyes. Oh no, is Chevalier gonna jump in and take the blow for me? My hands shake on the hilt, but I stand resolute, ready for the blow. But it does not come. Moments before the knights raise their swords, I am aware of breath on my cheek and beautiful violet eyes staring into my own. Hana. Oh god, he got stabbed for me. But the words ends in a gasp as a blade is buried deep into Chevalier's chest. Oh my god, there's my bad ending. Thanks, game. His words fade as his hand slides down on either side of me. He slumps and his head falls onto my shoulder. Oh no! A raw sound escapes my throat as I feel the warmth leave Chevalier's body. Oh, Chevalier! I scream his name and he looks up, but his eyes do not see me. They are somewhere far away. Mythros pulls Chevalier's body down to the ground, where it falls with a terrible thud. Inconsequential. I am deaf to Mythros' words. I slump down beside Chevalier, my hands reaching for his. His eyes are still open, but the light in them is gone. No. Tears stream down my face. I cannot breathe. I cannot hear my heart. Everything is quiet and dark. Chevalier! God damn it, I told you not to take a blow for me, man! Now that the obstacle is gone, you have nothing left, princess. Mythros' hand reached for me. I attempt to lift the sword, but he knocks it easily out of my hands. Are you truly the queen's daughter? The queen never cried. She was the strongest woman I knew. I cannot breathe and cannot stifle the sobs escaping my throat. She taught me that sentimentality was nothing to value, that it would only make you weak. I assume you knew that too, princess. Well, I'm a changed woman. But I was wrong. It would be a good thing that when the queen is back on the throne, the weak do not win. He snaps his fingers and the witches congregate around me. Now we shall use you to bait the fairy, and then everyone else will fall. I will unravel this effort at its heart. He nudges Chevalier's body. I look down at Chevalier's ashen face and sob. I let the tears gather in my eyes until I cannot see anything. Nothing matters anymore. And nothing else matters anymore. That is my bad end. Oh, it's a different title screen, too. It has that little thing. I wonder what achievement I got this time. Hey! Well, we all saw this coming. We all saw this coming. I knew it was coming. Spot of Needles is the achievement. Okay. Oh, I guess it refers back to the whole, like, the spindle. Because that was, like, a big part of, like, the story of, what's it called? Rumpelstiltskin. Anyways, there we go, you guys. I knew it. I knew that bad ending was coming. I was so back and forth between Rumpel's choices. So I figured, like, I've surpassed the, like, appropriate amount of bad choices that I could make in order to still get a good ending. So, yeah. So far, I'm not winning out on this game. But anyways, whatever. We got our bad ending. But that just means we can definitely, like, you know, erase all this, go back and get the good ending and forget this all happened. Forget the fact that people died again. Tune in next time. I'm gonna come back again for Rumpel's good ending before we finally conclude his route. And we're gonna conclude it on a positive note like we always do. So thank you so much for tuning in this time around. Again, I totally apologize for the way that I sound and the way that I probably have been coughing and hacking a lung all throughout this entire time. But again, you probably won't really hear any of that because, you know, it's gross. I'm not gonna subject you guys to that torture. Anyways, yeah, so tune in next time. But for now, bye! Cinderella.